and sisters from wherever you're watching me around the world. I am your host, El Matador, El Pibe de Oro, Cosa Noza, Moto Natembe. Welcome to our live stream, 18th of June, 2026, and I'm very happy to welcome you to our live stream. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any questions up to there? And I'm very happy to be here live with Kenyan time. And remember, we'll continue talking about what we wanted to talk about. Feel free to be part and parcel of our streams. Welcome to our streams. And, welcome. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. We'll continue with our, streams. And I'm very happy to be here. Welcome to both of my channels. And feel free to be part and parcel of our streams, and tell me where you are watching me from. The World Cup is taking shape. If you were watching the game yesterday, Ghana got a late goal. In football, it is not over until it is over. Okay, so welcome. I want to welcome you to our streams. Welcome, my dear brothers and sisters. I'll be here for 1 hour, and it is your daily program, in both of my channels. That is, the Chariots of Fire, and and both of them. And I hope that you will enjoy our streams. Any questions? So this week I said that I will want to explain to you what it means when SpaceX was able to, deliver its first IPO. And, the first day of trading, they traded at close to $2.5 trillion, which means that's a lot of money, as I said. And today I want to talk about artificial intelligence and why, there's going to be a lot of changes in the near foreseeable future. For those who need to know that there's a G7 meeting happening around the world, and leaders are talking about it. But also before that meeting, our president went for an open AI meeting. And, they're talking about the future of AI and why, artificial intelligence is going to change so many things. And today I want to explain to you why AI is going to change a lot of things in our near future, and why it is the place where everybody is looking at when it comes to the investment. And so welcome to our channels, and I'm very happy to be here. So when I want to talk about something very, very serious, because when you look at AI, why it's needed, like if you look at the investment that Elon Musk made just a few days ago, he bought an AI company that is called Casa. He bought that company for $60 billion, and that's a very, very huge investment for AI. That tells you that that Elon Musk himself thinks that the artificial intelligence industry will grow very quickly in the near foreseeable future. That's why he bought that company for $60 billion. What does that tell you? In fact, a day after the initial public offer of SpaceX, he bought that company of artificial intelligence for close to $60 billion. That tells you that so many people will be investing in the artificial intelligence in the near foreseeable future. Any question? Because you see, what I do, and I want to tell you for free for those who care to listen, that what will happen is that he's going to buy all these startup companies of AI. He's going to buy all the startup companies of AI, betting on the future. That is exactly what he's doing. He wants to buy these companies, because you can imagine what he will do. He will do something called amalgamation of all the companies. So here we will buy all the AI companies, the ones that are starting up at maybe 10 billion, 20 billion, 30 billion, 40 billion, until he has already taken the entire market of AI. And the next thing that he will do, and I'm trying to, he will have a monopoly over the AI industry. Of course, that is exactly the same thing he did with Twitter. He bought Twitter at a small price. Just give me a minute. Let us continue with our streams. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to be back. I was telling you that what will happen in the near foreseeable future is that Elon Musk will buy all these AI companies. That is what he will do at good prices, of course. And afterwards, after buying them, of course, and he will hold on them. He will hold on these companies for the next. If you have been careful, if you have been watching the market, what he's doing, there's what he is doing, which is not private information. It is public information. So what he's doing exactly, he's buying all these companies, these small companies. He's also very, very keen to acquire the companies at maybe. So what will happen, ladies and gentlemen, in Kenya, since we are having a technology city coming up, for the first people who will develop AI companies, I'm telling you for free, they will make a lot of money. So since I want you to think about it, pause and think about it. So you can imagine that there's a lot of money in the AI industry. And since we are having a technology city, you can imagine the first people to develop artificial intelligence in Kenya, of course, will be in the market. If you are developing these industries very quickly, if we develop that AI industry very quickly, we will be able to compete globally. We'll be able to compete globally. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. The student who won the IT competition in Tokyo came from Machakos University. That's the funniest thing. Yes, he came from Machakos University. That's something that people need to know. So it doesn't matter which university you study. Let me take something. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. I'm very happy to be here. It is 5:30 Kenyan time. We're still talking about the future of artificial intelligence and how it's going to impact your life in the near foreseeable future. We are live in the Chariots of Fire. We are live in the world of our own. Welcome to both channels. I'm very happy to be here. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you are watching me from. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. So today we're going to talk about the things that are happening around the world. So we'll have a roundup of what is happening. Feel free to subscribe and comment. We'll be here for just 1 hour, and I hope that within that 1 hour we'll be able to cover a few things. The biggest story that is being talked about in Kenya today is the airport saga. The airport saga, where the contract of the JKIA, the renovation of the JKIA airport. I know some people wanted me to talk about that. There's so many things happening, and I will talk about them before. There was a contract that was given to an Indian company, that is Adani, and Kenyans rejected it. Now, we are being told that the project is linked to Wicknell Chivayo, that is a man whose name has repeatedly appeared in major corruption controversies. Of all the companies in the world, why him? This man owns a company called ICM, and he was given that tender of renovating the airport. That tender is worth 375 billion shillings. And Adani had proposed to do it for around, for around 1.8 billion. Now, that is not 1.8, that is $1.8 billion. Not 1.8 billion shillings. That is where Kenyans get it wrong. Now the figure being discussed is over $2.5 billion. Now, does the cost suddenly jump by hundreds of millions? Who is pocketing the difference? That is the question that people are asking today. When you look at this man's history and then you look at the numbers, the questions will practically answer themselves. We deserve answers, up to there. So this man Chivayo makes 6.3 billion shillings from ballot paper printing in Zimbabwe. He is the one who made those ballot papers in Zimbabwe. This man called Chivayo, all right, is the one who made those ballot papers in the just concluded election in Zimbabwe. Like, for example, right now, Kenyans, we are going for elections. There's that big tender of printing ballot papers. All right. So whenever a country goes for an election is a big exercise. Like, for those who are in the know that our budget, that is the 4.5 trillion shillings budget, we have money set aside for the elections, because the elections will be held next year. All right. So there's that tender that is hanging there. That is the tender of supplying of ballot papers. That tender is a very juicy tender. And, and the money, this man called Chivayo was awarded that tender of printing the ballot papers. And of course, a lot of money went to Emmanuel, the president. You see now, the ballot paper, that business of printing the ballot papers is a very, very big tender. And, whenever a country goes for elections, people also look at that tender of printing the ballot papers. All right. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you are watching me from. Okay, so you can imagine this man called Chivayo was linked with, that tender of supplying the essential materials, the IT servers, and the ballot logistics up to 235% during Zimbabwe's 2023 elections. Zimbabwean is, in fact, is also a smuggler of conflict gold, diamonds, and other things. So he regularly flies to Kenya to meet, of course, you know who. And this man is known for rigging elections using technology. All right. So this man has really is a big fish. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to be here this wonderful 1 hour. And welcome to the streams. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Welcome to the Chariots of Fire, and welcome to the world of our own. I'm your host, Raymond Mutuku, and let's continue with our streams. If you have any questions, please ask me your questions in the comment sections below. I'll be here for just 1 hour, and I will be on my way. Any questions up there? Any questions up to there? So we've already talked about that story of Chivayo. That is something that has been trending in our country this week. And another issue that needs to be discussed is what is happening in South Africa. What is happening in South Africa is very, very serious, because as we talk today, as we're talking right now, there are so many families that have been stranded in South Africa because of the 30th of June deadline. People have been told foreigners have been told to come out of South Africa as soon as possible. And this is the latest wave of xenophobia. The latest wave of xenophobia, that is exactly what is happening in South Africa as we speak right now. People who are not predominantly from South Africa are told to get out of South Africa, because this is the argument that since there are many undocumented immigrants to South Africa, they are putting a strain on the resources of South Africa. That is why you see people from Malawi, people from Zimbabwe, people from Zambia, people from Ghana, people from Nigeria, and all these people have been told to vacate from South Africa as soon as possible. And as we speak today, there are numerous repatriation flights from South Africa. They are told that they cannot stay in South Africa, because as we speak, this is the reason why they have been told to leave South Africa. They have been told to leave South Africa because of one reason. They claim that the illegal immigrants are, number one, competing with them when it comes to resources. They're saying that these illegal immigrants are offering cheap labor, and that is something that is also witnessed in the United Kingdom right now, and I will go there just very, very, very shortly. They're saying that these illegal immigrants are, number one, putting a lot of pressure by offering cheap labor. So they're saying people from Malawi, people from Zambia are offering cheap labor that makes the citizens of South Africa to lose jobs. Because if cheap labor is being offered by Malawians, if cheap labor is offered by people from Zimbabwe, if cheap labor is being offered from people from Mozambique, if cheap labor is being offered by people from Angola and Ghana and Nigeria, why should they hire people from South Africa? That is why they started this campaign of Makwere Kwere. They claimed that these people from Malawi, that is the reason. In fact, I'm giving you the reason why there are repatriation flights, from South Africa as we speak, is because of this particular reason. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Now they're saying that the illegal immigrants are offering cheap labor. They're offering to do things at at rates that are very low as compared to the citizens of South Africa. That is why they claim that people from Ghana are now, they're not offering professional services. They're there to compete with them for the small jobs like, household duties. They're there to compete with them for jobs like being a watchman. Most of the watchmen right now are from Ghana. Most watchmen are from Nigeria. Most watchmen are from Malawi. So you can imagine that these people, they're saying that they are gobbling up all the jobs, making making the citizens of South Africa to live, to suffer when it comes to the job market. So, ladies, and that is the same thing happening in Britain today. I was listening to this member of parliament called Robert Jenrick. Robert Jenrick said that right now in the UK, the illegal immigrants are going up all the jobs, or they're called the aliens. They are gobbling up all the jobs. They're taking all the jobs in the UK, all the professional jobs in the UK. So it means that majority of those born in the UK are are living a life that is not what they wanted, because you can imagine foreigners are taking up all the jobs and all the money. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is also a problem in the UK as we speak right now, and maybe it's not really manifesting itself loudly, but sooner or later, London will blow up because of this particular issue. They will say that these illegal immigrants are taking up all the good things, leaving them with nothing. So that is the same thing that is happening in South Africa. We find that um, the illegal migrants, or maybe let me put it that way, people who just came to the UK, and that is exactly what is happening in London as we speak. They're saying that majority of people in UK are in the welfare. All right, they're living in the welfare. So it means that what is happening right now is that the government is spending a lot of money on welfare. And if you've been following the speeches of Kemi Badenoch in Parliament of the UK, she talked about they need to add an extra billion pounds to their budget for defense. And they were asked, where will they get the additional $11 billion? They said that this £11 billion will come from welfare. So it means that their plan, ladies and gentlemen, is to get the people of UK out of welfare, to get them into jobs. And how can they do that? By taxing illegal migrants, all right? Or by ensuring that these people who are working in the UK are also taxed a lot of money, so that this tax can also, go to the exchequer. An exchequer is called Rachel Reeves. She's the exchequer of England and the UK. So they're told that, the moment all the citizens in Britain, once they come out of welfare, because every citizen gets an annual welfare of close to £8,000. If they come out of welfare, that is £8,000, they'll be able to save a lot of money, and this money will be used in preparing the UK for defense. So they are arguing, and that is the government, that is the Conservatives or the Tory party is arguing, that is the party of Kemi Adegoke Badenoch is arguing that, and I will tell you for free, she's arguing that if they get people, if they make sure that all this, they're not renewing the visas of illegal migrants. They want to make sure that the citizens of Britain get jobs, all right? They get the jobs. And they can only get these jobs if they don't renew the visas of the illegal or the people who come from other countries. All right. So that is how they're going to get people out of welfare. And I've said that every welfare is close to £8,000. So they can get people out of welfare by not renewing the visas of illegal migrants. And that is how they're going to raise money for the defense. That is according to Kemi Adegoke Badnoch. She was arguing in Parliament, the British Parliament, that is the only way they can get people, they can get actually people out of welfare to jobs, by not renewing the visas of people who don't come from the UK. And that is how they're going to raise money for the defense. So they're arguing that if they, and I'm telling you for free, they're arguing that they can raise that £11 billion by, number one, ensuring that it's a very strict system. They want to come up with a system that is claiming that they need to fight the wars of tomorrow. All right? They need to prepare for the war of tomorrow. That they claim that fund of £11 billion, that fund is to enable the UK to fight the wars of the future and not the wars of the past. Any questions up there, feel free to subscribe and comment. They say that Kemi Badnoch, that is Adegoke Badnoch, that is the leader of the Tory party or the leader of the Conservatives, argued that by 2030 they need to raise close to £28 billion. So if you do your quick mathematics, let's do our mathematics. They're saying by 2030, we're in 2026, we're talking about 4 years, or maybe 3.5. All right, we're talking about 3.5 years. They want to raise £28 billion. Called into that money will be directed, will be channeled from the welfare that they want. Number one, they said that what they want is to put people out of welfare. That is the number one goal of the Conservatives. They want to put people out of welfare, and they can only put people out of welfare if they don't renew the visas or the working visas of the immigrants that work in the UK. Any questions up to there, feel free to subscribe and comment. So this man called Robert Jenrink was arguing that the migrant labor is driving out wages, is driving down wages, and is putting pressure on schools, putting pressure on hospitals, putting pressure on transport, and many, many other things. So, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you are watching me from. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. We are here for just 1 hour, and we're going to discuss what's happening around the world. I've told you about what is happening in South Africa. I've told you what is happening here in Kenya when it comes to, any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. Another thing that is happening in Kenya, it is said that the KTN, there was an investigation that is happening in Kenya by the KTN television station showing that the government, apparently the government in quotes, is selling Kenyan IDs and passports to foreigners for as low as 15,000 shillings, and that issue should worry all Kenyans, as passport and a national ID isn't a piece of book or card. They are what defines our nation. The damage this government is doing by selling Kenyan passports and IDs to foreigners will outlive their short stay in power. We really fumbled in 2022. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is that this week the main discussion in our country is that there is an investigation that is going on that was done by one of our television stations that showed that, a Kenyan ID is being sold for 15,000 shillings. A Kenyan ID. So you can imagine, to foreigners. So that if that's, ladies and gentlemen, that is a very serious issue, where now our nationality is, I think that is very, very serious, because a national ID is being sold in Kenya for 15,000 shillings, and that particular investigation was done by KTN. Any questions up to there, feel free to subscribe and comment, and welcome to our streams. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. So as I said again, there was this competition in Shenzhen in China on 5th June, and it was a global ICT competition. And the people who won are Kenyans. Kenyan known as Catherine Atieno was studying telecommunication and information engineering at JKUAT, and Salem Kim, cloud computing at Machakos University, and Brian Ngugi was also pursuing computer science at Mount Kenya University. You can imagine, as we're speaking right now, when it comes to development of ICT, Kenya is, I can tell you for free that we have really developed in that sector. That competition was held in China, in a place called Shenzhen in China, and Kenyans emerged the top. They emerged the best in that particular competition. That shows you, that when it comes to information technology, as Kenyans, we have really developed, and that is very, very good, because this is the time of artificial intelligence. And when it comes to artificial intelligence, I said that in the next 2 or 3 years, those who will have advanced in artificial intelligence, that is, those not just proficiency in ChatGPT, that is the funny thing, the development of artificial intelligence will change a lot of things when it comes to, because now we are anticipating the Konza Technology City, and the artificial intelligence will come at the right time, at least when the technology city is ready. The artificial intelligence will find, will find that the software will find the hardware ready. And that is why it is a very interesting piece of information. It's a very, very interesting piece of information. Just give me a minute, I will be back. Don't go anywhere. We are back, and let us continue with the streams. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to be here. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our stream. So I said that today we're going to do a roundup of all the information that is happening in our country. As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue with our discussion. That is, what will happen in the near foreseeable future. As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, that artificial intelligence is going to revolutionize is going to change a lot of things. And right now, even the government will want to rely on artificial intelligence. So when you're trying to talk about the future of ICT, when you're talking about the future of where we are going, even technology, ICT wise, you cannot run away from artificial intelligence. And I want to repeat and I want to insist to my brothers and sisters that artificial intelligence is now, when it comes to, when you talk about the promised land, artificial intelligence is the promised land. Are we together? Artificial intelligence is the promised land. The promised land that we were being told about. When you look at things from that perspective, artificial intelligence is the promised land. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. So when you look, so where are we going in terms of ICT? When people saying, how are we going to say that we have really gained ground in terms of ICT? I will talk about artificial intelligence. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. I'm here for the next 1 hour. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. So we are going to do a very wonderful roundup. And make sure that if you did not find the time to watch these channels, make sure that you go through what we have said, even if it is for just a few minutes. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. The next issue we're going to talk about very quickly is that the government of Kenya has set aside 2 shillings to support verified victims of human rights violations from protest since 2017. Kenya has been going through a difficult time since 2017. So don't worry, my dear viewer, we have been talking about what is happening around Africa. I've even talked about the SpaceX IPO. I've talked about the CASA IPO of $60 billion. I've talked about, the fact that Elon Musk will buy up all these AI companies, round them up together, boost them, and also take them to the New York Stock Exchange. So as you can imagine, a lot of things are going to happen to the AI industry. Because if you see, one thing that has really made Elon Musk to be a very rich man is that he has invested in the future. Are we together? He buys companies that he thinks will drive the future. And right now, as we speak, he is driving up companies that are, that are heading towards the future. We are also live, and if you are new to this channel, if you're new, we are watching, there's a match that is happening right now. That is the Republic of South Africa. I don't know whether this is available. I don't know whether it's available, match day. I don't know whether it's available. I don't know whether... My work is easy because I use Twitter. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by breakdumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next, I set up... So if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. If you're new to this channel, feel free to so right now, Czechoslovakia is playing with South Africa, and I'm reading the comments in the Super Sport, and one of the biggest comments that people are talking about is xenophobia. Africans are very angry with what is happening in South Africa. They are saying that, you go and read the comment section at Supersport channel. They are saying that there's only one word that is happening in South Africa. They are saying that South Africans, they are xenophobic in nature. They don't like their fellow African, and which is a very, very, very sad day, because they have already given a deadline, which is very, very sad. And right now, As we're talking right now, the bus of South Africa has just landed in the stadium, and people are saying no to South Africa because South Africa, this match is happening at Atlanta Stadium. South Africa is playing you know. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. I don't know whether Spotty TV is showing, but I think it's showing. I don't know whether it's not South Africa and Czech Republic. Any questions up to there? Czech Republic is playing with South Africa, and people are also wondering about what is happening to Bafana Bafana. They're saying that Bafana Bafana, when it comes to xenophobic attacks, people are really worried about the xenophobic attacks that is happening to the Bafana Bafana. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. I am very happy to host you this evening. It is already 6 a.m. In fact, the game of Czech Republic and Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana, for those who don't know, is the nickname of the South African football team. They're known as the Bafana Bafana. But when I was reading the comment section in the SuperSport, channel, and people are very, very angry with what is happening in South Africa. They say that the issue of xenophobia, people are not happy with what is happening in South Africa. They have, as I've said, they have given people who are not from South Africa a deadline. They have given them a 1 month up to the end of June to come out of South Africa. And their excuse is that they are claiming that these young people are the Africans. They are gobbling up all the jobs such that the South African cannot get a job. They're gobbling up, and they're giving cheap labor. People from Malawi, people from people from Zimbabwe, people from all these places, they're gobbling up all the jobs such that the native South African doesn't get anything. That is why they started calling them Makwere Kwere. And Makwere Kwere means, Makwere Kwere means, cockroach. They started calling other Africans Makwere Kwere. They said Makwere Kwere Marahambe. That is, they should go. Makwere Kwere. They started calling other Africans Makwere Kwere. They started saying that other Africans are gobbling up all their resources such that the native South African cannot access anything. They're gobbling up everything. Are we together? They're consuming everything. They're taking control of everything very quickly, greedily, and in massive amounts. They're saying that other Africans, mostly people from Nigeria, they're gobbling up all their resources very quickly, very rapidly, until they have nothing left. Are we together? So if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. Welcome to the Chariots of Fire. Welcome. I'm very happy to be here this wonderful evening. And feel free to join me, to our channels, watch our channels, such a wonderful time. Any questions up to there? Any questions up there? I cannot ladies and gentlemen, I cannot show you some of the things that are happening in the World Cup. I wanted to stream the World Cup, but I cannot stream the World Cup because there are restrictions. You cannot stream that information because it does not belong to me. Any questions up to there? I am very happy to be here. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. Welcome to the channel. Any questions up to there? Any questions? Welcome, grâce à toi. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. And join me every day for 1 hour, and we'll talk about what is happening around the world and why it is important for you to know exactly what is happening. Any questions up to there, feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. I am your host, El Matador, El Pibe de Oro, Cosa Rosa, Motonatembe, Raymond Mutuku, and I'm very happy to be here. Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? And it's I said that we'll talk about exactly what is happening in South Africa and why other Africans are actually very concerned. So don't worry. So let's continue. So we're just about to leave.
Why do some people seem to attract luck, opportunities, and protection, while others struggle no matter how?
So we're good. So just about to leave, and I'm very happy. I really enjoyed your Welcome. Bienvenue Wawa. Salali kamisi. Zambe salali kamisi. Yo. Metre langa. Daida Sugaya. That is BCBG. That is BCBG, and I'm very happy to be here. I need to go, ladies. I really appreciated your time. Find time to go through what we talked about, this week. Find time to go through what we talked about, because definitely if it happened, we talked about it. And I really appreciated your time. Feel free to join us every day and enjoy our channels. I want you to enjoy our channels. Don't say that we're mean. No, we're not mean. I want you guys to enjoy our channels every day. Both channels, that is the Chariots of Fire and World of Our Own. Any questions up there? The game of South Africa and the Czech Republic is showing. I don't know, should we show you? It is showing right now. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I think Super Sport is showing it. It's showing on Super Sports. It's showing
on day one, since my son made me switch from running to Tai Chi chair workouts.
There's any questions up to there? All right, I'm just about to leave. Let me go. Any questions up to there? I appreciated your time. Any questions up to there? Let me go and watch the game with my friends. I need to go and watch the game. But I really appreciated your time. All right. Okay. Arrivederci.